I love me some coffee. Ooh. Y'all know what that feeling is, don't you? I know it took me a while to get this cup. That's because I make it one drop at a time. It's better that way. Try it. You'll see. It's hard to get one drop hot. Really hot. Okay, enough slurping in your ear. Part 2. This is what I am calling my poor man's Burkie. Because if you've ever bought one, you're a poor man. And if you want two, you better do one of these. Anyway, this is a gravity feed system that is kind of a leave it and let it go kind of thing. It's good to have some of these, as cheap as they are to build, maybe even a few of them. You can put one in each of your sinks so you have nice clean water. Think about that. Prepping wise, SHTF, have one of these at each sink in your house in case things go down. You can pour your water sources from other places like your rain catchment into these and be able to brush your teeth, do your things, not have to worry about critters. You know what I'm talking about. Them, what do they call those? Spirochetes. That's not something that flies around and talks to you. No. All right. So what we've got here is a 2-bucket system. This is something you have to order online. What you do to start off with is you order online. You just type in gravity feed water system, and you will find filter kits like this. You'll get a white little box like this. Just throw that away, and inside that box will be some sandpaper for exfoliating, and like a little what do they call them? Little green scrubby pad. That's also for final polish. And in there, you'll be able to find kits for about $25 right in there, maybe a little less now, who knows, that have a spigot. And with that spigot comes a gasket and a nut. Not me, the nut. And you'll get a single silver impregnated, no I didn't, and charcoal filled, there might be some other things in there, filter that comes with a rubber gasket and a nut. 2 nuts. And look for the kit that has the pre-filter on it. This is great because it helps keep all that nasty stuff. If you really have to, like if you're thirsty and you're going out there and getting pond water and you got stuff floaters in it, you want to be sure to keep those from getting on the filter. This will also help extend the life of the filter. You can take this thing out, scrub it up under the sink, or throw it in the washing machine, which in SHTF won't be working unless you have one like me that has a plunger. That being said, keep in mind that you can find things at antique stores or some of those weird junk stores that they make things into furniture, or even at the dump. You can find some old stuff that is absolutely able to be modified and used today in case things go down. So just a thought. But this is washable. So and really what the scrubby pads and the sanding pads for, this is for like rejuvenating the filter kind of thing after it's been used a little bit. And so this is for cleaning, like you'll get, maybe you get some goo growing on there. No, I suggest you do it before the goo grows on there, but that's what that's for. It's also for roughing up your buckets if you need to get a good seal if you're gluing things down. Now we're not going to do that with this one. However, you can also get, and I recommend doing it at the same time to help you save on shipping, you get another 2-pack of those filters. These right here, got 2 of these guys right here. Same filters, they came $35 for 2. So now I've got enough to do quite a bit of water. Make your purchases count so you don't have to do shipping. Now, how we're going to start is we've got 2 buckets, food grade buckets from Wally World. Right there. And I like the white ones. You can get blue ones because you have, say, water. I found me a washer. That must go with those. You can go with blue if you want, just to have the whole water thing so people know it's water, that kind of thing. I like the white buckets so I can make sure they're nice and clean. The first thing we want to do is the bottom bucket. Bottom bucket, just like the other one. Now, if you remember from the other kit, there was a paddle bit in there. You have that little paddle bit, and that little paddle bit has the one with the prongs on the outside of the paddle. That's great for cutting holes in the size you need. So read your kit. This one didn't come with that. So if you have the other kit, you can use that bit. However, find yourself a paddle bit with the little prongs on it, put it on your drill, and do like I do. And now you've got a hole right there. Just like last time, no more than 1/2 inch up from the bottom. That's kind of what this one is. You know, no less than 1/4 inch, so you can get room for a nut as well as sediment trap. You know, final sediment gathering in there. So we've got our hole in that. Now, while we're at it, you take the lid for that one, and right in the center of that lid, you drill another hole. This one is big enough to fit that tightly through, even if you have to screw it down and in on there. Okay, now don't do that yet. Okay, that's coming. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that down there. Now we take this bucket right here, and we're going to take that drill and we're going to drill a hole just like that right there in that bucket too. Now we'll set these two on top of each other. This is the tricky part. And you're going to take this filter here, and you're going to take that nut off, and you're going to leave that washer on there, okay? Then you're going to take, let's see, is that one thicker? Yeah, I might like that one better. Let's put the thicker one on there, like that. Nope, that's too big for that. That goes to the other thing. Okay, so this washer right here, the one that was on there, we'll leave that on there, and we're going to push it through the bucket and this other lid, tightening her down. Yep, just like that. Now, take this nut and put it on there. Now, you'll want to test this the first time, make sure you don't have any dirty water from the top leaking down in there, but get it nice and snug that up. Now, if you do, I might suggest using a little bit of silicone, make this thing more permanent. Because silicone, you'll be able to twist it off still. If you put it along the bottom side of that, in the inside here of that filter, you'll still be able to twist it off if you need to, but it's a good idea to get that good and tight so the water's not leaking through into the other bucket. Now, we got her good and tight. So, before we put this on, this hole we drilled down here was the size for this. So this is our spigot, and I think that was just an extra washer I had there. So we're going to take this spigot, and we're going to stick it in the hole here. There we go, stick it in the hole. Now we're going to put that rubber washer in there. We're going to take that nut, and we're going to twist her on there to get her nice and tight. And go ahead, because it'll flatten out the bucket a little bit. Go ahead and get her nice and tight on there. But don't break it. Just tight enough. That's all you need. Doesn't matter if this one drips a little bit. You can put a little silicone along this if you want. But that is what you want there. Now you got your spigot. And it's about as thick as my finger is, not quite, from the bottom. Okay? So you sink that bucket down, set her there. I like to do it that way too, so when I'm measuring, so that I can set it on a tabletop like this and not accidentally catch it as it's sliding around. But of course, when you use it, you want to put it off the edge. But got that like that. Then you take this lid right here and you just snap her down. Okay? See how it's coming? Yep. Now, you'll take this little guy here. That's your pre-filter. Now, of course, you're going to have to take these filters. Now, read the instructions. It'll say in there to prime them or soak them. So you'll soak them for the appropriate amount of time. Rinse them out. You might even have to run a bucket of this through it in order to kind of flush it out so you don't have all that charcoaly haze in there. So you might have to run a bucket, maybe 2 through it, but I think it's just a bucket was good. And you take these filters here, you do the same thing when they're ready, soak them, and then run them through a little bit. Now you take this pre-filter and you take that and you set her down on top of there and you tighten up that string. Get that tightened down there. Okay. Now, as you can see in there, we have that pre-filter tightened down on top of there and on top of that water. Now, you could fill this up with water and you'd be good to go just like this. But you kind of want to keep things from getting into the inside. But this, once you fill it up with the water, you can just set it and forget it. Just walk away. Water will sit in here. It'll drip through here and come into here. That can take a while though. And if you're thirsty, you're going to want to drink. So this is kind of the RIPCURL mod that I did to it. I took a little hole, a little 16th hole, drilled it through the top, pushed in one of these bicycle pumps. little nozzles there and epoxied it in. And that one, you don't have to use pressure. You can just put that on after you put the water on there, and that little hole will allow it to just function. If you don't have that little hole and you snap this lid down, make a seal, it's not going to filter so well because you're going to create a vacuum in here. Something I just got done doing. If you remember from the last video, I had to do it. That might have been what took coffee so long. Speaking of coffee, love that coffee. So in the last video, I showed you the bicycle pump. Of course, I put that away. So the bicycle pump would then screw on to the top. 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Put that down. Put it down. That's mine. Okay. So, and don't point that at me. It might be loaded. You screw that on there like that, and you just give her 2 or 3 pumps. Kind of watch the flow. You'll see when it looks like it's flowing good. Don't over pump it. Don't get too excited. You don't need to do that. That'll probably rush the water through too much, although these are designed to hook up to your water as well, which will give you 120 to 80 to 120 pounds depending on your water system. So in your city. So you can put more pressure to it, but just do enough to get it to flow nice and smooth. We'll take that off. But that's all you need to do to have a gravity system. Then you can just set this thing off the edge. Well, actually, we'll put that back on. So you poured the water in there, it's starting to drip. You've given her a couple pumps, it's flowing out good. You can put one of these at each one of your sinks, maybe even put one outside if it's not freezing. And if it is freezing, you can take these things and put a water heater blanket around them. That'll help, that'll be good. Unless it gets really cold in your area, like the kind of cold you shouldn't be living in. That kind of cold, you won't want to do it outside. But that being said, you'll just be able to have water at your demand right there. Now, if you see that it's getting a little low on the pressure, or you don't want to fill it back up until you've used this down, of course, you know, because if you put another 5 gallons in here and this is full, what's going to happen? Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. But you can also cause backflush into the system. So you just have it like this. If the flow is slowing down, give it a couple more pumps till it flows out good, and you're good. That's it for this kit. Pretty simple, pretty easy. If I can do it, you can do it. It's not that hard. Just so you know, first kit cost, if I remember right, bucket, lids, about $25 for the, oh, excuse me, take that back. This kit, with just the one filter and the buckets, about $35. And then the extra filters were another $35. That just gets you more time. So this isn't a very expensive system. The other system was the Sawyer that I did in video number 1. That one was $59 for the kit. Although remember, it's multi-use, so you can use it in your bug out bag and everything else. It was simpler to build, but it was $59 for the filter kit, and then another, $5 for bucket and lid, and you're all good. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Dook, dook, dook. Hit the bell. Ding, ding. And put your comments, whether you enjoyed this, liked it, learned something or not. Any suggestions you might have for future videos down in the comments. You know I read them, and I am still responding back to them. So if you haven't got your response, you will. I'll be sure of that. Even if it takes me all of my life. But it will, and I do, and I love them. I love them to death. I really appreciate all your guys and all your support. Please keep it coming. Let's do something great like we've seen some of these other channels do. Like Alaska Prepper. Amazing. What an amazing channel. Prepper Nation. Another amazing channel. Pinball Prepper just picked up the food for his donations. Amazing. That's a great company, or a great community, excuse me. And Prepper Now. Another good one. I mean, I could go on and on. TJ Preps, North Shore Preparedness, Prepping Outside the Box, Grim Survival, let's see. Okay, Marie is cranking them out now, and boy, I mean, they're just all kinds of them. And if you're wondering, they're in my description area too. You could actually link to your videos there, or to their videos, and tell them you came from the RIPCURL crew. Speaking of that, we're going to need to do a little bit of a change on the name. It's probably going to have to go to something I think most everybody suggested, including Pepper Now, going to RIPCURL Readiness. The reason for that is one, of course, we all know there's another great and wonderful surf company out there. Even though, you know, they're not a prepper channel, I don't want to cause any waves as we continue to grow, which we are going to. And I also want to do other things like maybe some logos, some hats, morale patches, things like that, so that this community can do more and have something that brings us together and to stand as one. So always remember, be safe, be secure, be aware of your surroundings, and be prepared for anything that may come your way. I love all of you. I'm going to go finish my coffee.